I grew up in apartheid South Africa, where I was always told that I couldn't be this, I couldn't do that, I can only go this far. And I just realized that I must leave a legacy for future generations to build on. So when we started the accounting practice and we started growing, establishing Gobodo Incorporated, legacy was at the back of my mind, because I felt like we need to believe as Black people that we can do anything. We can establish our own little firm and grow it into a medium-sized firm, and so that the next generation do not have to start where we started. And then when we dreamt Nonkululeko Gobodo, the largest Black accounting firm that became the 5th largest at the time, and people would be saying, some of my partners, Nonku, why are we working so hard building this thing, building these systems, when the Big Four already have them? Let's just merge with them. I would be like, no, we are building a legacy here for Black people, for future young Black people, so that they can start from where we stopped and build to the next level. And so you can imagine, when I retired from the accounting profession, leaving Nonkululeko Gobodo, and then in a few years, they then took over the license of Grant Thornton, and now it became an international firm. And I was like, that's exactly what I wanted to see, that you don't just start an international firm, you have to move from somewhere to establish an international firm. So that's why legacy for me has just been important. I was an unknown girl from Umtata, and then I became the first Black woman to become a chartered accountant in South Africa. And that put me in the spotlight and changed my life completely. And because of that, I was able to leave the kind of legacy I left in the accounting profession. Now you have this platform that you've created, right? You've retired, sure. Are you just gonna waste that and let it go and say, no, I sit on boards, I'm very happy now, I'm retired, I've done my bit? Or are you going to use that for something else, something different? And this is how I see this. I wouldn't be appointed the Chancellor of Walter Sisulu University if I had not built the kind of legacy that I had built. Let's use Walter Sisulu University to build the kind of African university that we can produce these future Black leaders who are going to lead South Africa into the future. So I've always had this burden around gender and racial inequality. I appreciate what we've achieved in terms of transformation and moving things forward. But I've come to a place of saying, no, we don't depend on others changing. We depend on ourselves changing, because they are bringing half themselves into the corporate world because they have to make others comfortable, who feel threatened about these powerful women. Because remember, always they believed that they were inferior, they were weak, they were not as powerful as men. If it's a woman who can lead that organization, let's give them space to lead. There's a whole new world waiting for us once Black people and women find who they truly are. So I started, with a low self-esteem, because I was that quiet, shy girl at home. And my mother was a matriarch, those strong women, and looking at me and thinking, this child is not going to make it in life. She needs to toughen up. For a very long time, I believed I was going to be a failure in life. I fell pregnant at 17 and had to have a gap year. And I was working at my father's panel beating shop. That's where I found myself. And I realized that I was strong. I was able to stand up at 19 years old to white managers who were bullying everybody at that time. And I was like, no, I'm not going to have it. I'm not going to have it. Because one of them said, what's your name? I said, Nonkululeko. No, that's too difficult. I'm going to call you Mary. I'm like, no, you're not going to do no such thing. You're going to call me by my full name. And then I was taught bookkeeping and caught on to this thing quickly. I was like, oh no, man, I'm actually quite smart. I'm actually quite strong. I'm not this thing that I believe myself to be. And from that time, I determined that I would never allow anybody to define who I am. So when I started working, first year of articles, I was very clear in my mind, coming into that environment, that first of all, no one is going to tell me how far I can go. So I created my own opportunities. Because of that kind of mindset, right? Which is why I started my own practice, right? Because I wanted to prove to myself that there was nothing I couldn't do. And building that firm from myself and the PA to Gobodo Incorporated, 10 partners and 200 staff, to Nonkululeko Gobodo, 55 partners and 1,200 staff by the time I left. So I really fulfilled that desire to prove that as a black woman, there was nothing I couldn't do. What I don't want is a situation where, because of the environment we are in, and especially for women, that there's this whole issue of this guilt, right? That I'm a wife, I'm a mother, and therefore I can't dream these dreams, right? And the man feels no guilt about the fact that you have to diminish your own ambitions so that I can reach the highest of mine. That's why I have a problem, right? Let's find equity in the home so that everybody can reach their fullest potential. So I would say to those young CAs, look deep inside of you and find out, what does Nonkululeko really want? I know you have all of these responsibilities. This is what I did. What does Nonkululeko really want? Yes, I'm divorced at 34. I've got 3 kids. There are 2 choices. I can diminish my ambitions and make sure that I create more time for my kids. But I'm not prepared to do that. I want to reach the highest that I can reach as a chartered accountant in South Africa, because I deserve that. I'm worthy of my own dreams. There may be a price to pay, right? My children are all successful in their own endeavors. They had a role model of a strong, powerful, successful mom. Because at the end of your life, you are going to be dissatisfied with your life. I'm very happy with my life, in spite of all these challenges that I'm sharing with you. But I still have no regrets today that I made that choice. It is really this ticket out of poverty. You are studying because, of this vision, right? And but I never planned to be the first. And then I became the first and was famous from day one. My whole world changed. I was now a national figure, appearing on TV, magazines, newspapers, and things like that. And of course, that just set the stage for everything else. So, of course, being a CA opens many opportunities for one. But I had that extra thing that just God's grace, you can't explain it. But the nice thing about being a CA is I've had all of these careers, right? After articles, I've been a lecturer, I've been a head of internal audit, I've been a CFO, I've run my own accounting firm, and now at retirement, I'm a director of listed companies. It doesn't end, right? At every phase of your life, this profession just delivers for you. I can't imagine how my life would have been if I was not a CA. We can't separate people from their country, the culture of their country. Unfortunately, this has been proven, actually, that because we created this culture of corruption, it became so pervasive that it even impacted noble profession like ours. You know, that for me was unthinkable. But I always am an optimist to say we fall so that we can rise, so that we can wake up, because obviously at some point we took our eyes off the ball. You know, when we went into the profession, we are very clear that that's not where the riches are. We have to go back to basics, restore the integrity of our profession, and we can do it. It starts with us. As the chartered accountants, we have the duty to rescue our profession. If you don't live our values in this firm or in this accounting finance department, then you don't belong here. And I used to say at partners meetings, I don't care how much money you make for us. I don't care how smart you are. If you don't live our values, we will let you go. And we did. We let them go. So we need to go back to that. If we are not conscious about preserving the integrity of our profession, it's going to run away from us as it is doing. That I'm still an inspiration to so many young people after 36 years. It's still heartwarming, you know, walking into a lift and someone screams, "Yo, a young person!" And I already know, "Yo, Mama, you are such a role model. I'm starting to be this because of you." You know, I give a cashier my card, and when they see the name, "Yo, Ma, I'm starting part-time because of you." That for me is just the most fulfilling thing about my legacy. The fact that I'm still such an inspiration to so many people.